joining us this evening. We would also like to thank our elected officials, first responders, military personnel, professors, staff, and students from Snow College who have joined us this evening.
Hello, I'm Andrew Weekly, and I'm one of the moderators as well. This event has been organized by Snow College Richfield American Government class, most of whom are here this evening. We want to give a special thanks to our refreshment committee and the Shirt Stop for sponsoring the hot dogs that are after the event. We want to start this evening by recognizing our nation, the freedoms we enjoy, and the sacrifices that have been made by so many to protect our way of life. If you could please stand with me and follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight, we have two candidates who are running for mayor of Richfield, and we'll be asking them 10 questions in total. 5 of these questions were provided by our classmates with a little help from AI, and the other 5 will be provided by you, members of the community.
Before we introduce our candidates, we also want to thank them for joining us today. Their willingness to be part of this important race is inspiring, and we wish them the best as they continue with their campaigns.
As we get started, we should note that the Rules Committee in our class has established the format for the event. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to introduce themselves and their campaign. From there, we will dive into the questions, and again, candidates will have 2 minutes to respond. Members of the Facilities Committee are in the front row this evening, with signs notifying the candidates when their time is up.
By way of introduction, Tyson Hansen was born and raised in Richfield. He's been married for 17 years and lived here for 29. He's a father of 4, a small business owner, and former finance director for Richfield City.
Bryan Burrows is a longtime resident of Richfield. He's a father of 5 and a grandfather to 10. He's worked at Rocky Mountain Power, been Richfield City Fire Chief, City Councilman, and currently serves as Richfield City's mayor.
In one of our classes, we flipped a coin to see who should be first to give an opening statement. As the result of that coin flip, we'll start with Mayor Burrows. If you were, Mayor.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Snow College for doing this. The government class and Kevin, this is a great thing, so hope it's been good for them. Over the past 4 years, Richfield has made major strides under my steady leadership with integrity, compassion, and common sense. I have been a strong voice for our community, committed to fair representation and responsible growth. Under my leadership, Richfield secured over $24 million in grant funding with 100% reinvested locally, helping to support our local contractors and economy. Major infrastructure improvements include upgrades to critical water and sewer lines, a rehabilitation of our spring that doubled water capacity, a major sewer project, a new bike and walking paths that promote a healthier, more connected Richfield. Today, we're improving lighting on our baseball fields and building a new swimming pool for families to enjoy for generations. I take your concerns seriously and listen because your priorities are my priorities. I believe in transparent, common sense, leadership, and always put people first. As Richfield continues to grow, let's keep moving forward with proven, dependable leadership. Some of the projects we have been able to accomplish with the awesome staff and our employees at Richfield. Our sewer project and sewer line replacement, our 500 North Road project, the spring rehab, which we were able to increase the capacity of our water source from 1,000 gallons a minute to 2,000 gallons a minute, along with water lines that needed replacement throughout town. We also did the 300 South Road project, sewer line project on the Cold View Road, the new park, the Nielsen new park, new playgrounds, new skate park, new basketball courts at the Lions Park, We've installed 2 new bathrooms. Time's up? Okay.
Thank you, Bryan. And now, Tyson, you have 2 minutes for an opening statement.
Thank you. Really happy to be with you all today. Thanks for coming out, showing up. It's important to hear, what your candidates have to say, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Like's been said, I'm Tyson Hansen. I was born and raised, for those that don't know, I was born and raised in Richfield. I've lived in Richfield about 29 of my soon-to-be 40 years. Pam and Jack Hansen, Jack couldn't make it tonight. He just had a surgery yesterday, but he's with us in spirit. And but Pam and Jack Hansen are my parents. Very blessed to have them and that upbringing. They taught me how to work hard and how to serve others, do the right thing. 17 years ago, actually it's a little bit more than 17 years ago, I guess now, I met my sweetheart Lana at Snow College, Lana Mason, and really appreciate her support in all my crazy ideas like running for mayor. She's been a steady rock for those 17 years, really appreciate her. Together we're raising 4 kids. Our oldest is 15, that's Jax. Maddox is soon to be 13. Brex is just turned 9, and Phoenix, our caboose, is 5. We actually have Marta with us this year. She's an Italian foreign exchange student, and we really enjoyed her being in our home this year. As was mentioned, I'm the former finance director for Richfield City, served there for about 4 years. Really, really enjoyed my time there. It was there that I fell in love with the city and how it runs. And I feel like that background gives me the unique foundation to come in, because I've done the budgets, I know the revenues, the expenditures, I've written the grants, I know how things work, and I can hit the ground running day one to be an effective mayor. So, really excited to see what happens.
Thank you, guys. Now let's dive into the 5 questions our American government class has provided. We'll start with Tyson for this first question and then alternate thereafter, giving each candidate an opportunity to respond. Our first question is, what do you see as the top 3 issues facing Richfield City? Tyson?
Thank you. I just had my 20-year class reunion last year, and at that time I was talking to one of my good friends from high school. He's out of state, he's got 3 kids, but we were just talking about what a great place Richfield is. And I was like, man, when are you gonna make the move back? It is, it's an awesome place. And you need to bring your family. He's like, oh man, that would be the dream. Like me and my wife talk about it all the time. Wouldn't have to worry about what our kids were learning in school. That would be the dream, but the sad part of it is I wouldn't have anywhere to work. And so that's one of my focuses, is making Richfield a place where our kids can live and work and support their families. Another thing that I guess worries me a little bit is strolling down Main Street today versus strolling down Main Street 10 years ago. It's not the same vibe. We have something really special in Richfield and the community, and that wholesomeness that we have. But we might be on a slippery slope if we're not careful. And so that's got to be a focus of ours too, protecting what we have. Another thing I think we need, this is kind of the older generation passing leadership down to the younger generation. And that older generation did a really good job. 20 years ago, they made a vision and set goals, and they stuck to that vision and that goals. And look at what we have today because of that foresight and that vision. And that's what Richfield needs going forward, is the vision for what the next 20 years is going to be. What kind of a town are we going to have 20 years from now? And having those visions. We could, wake up and do the same thing we've done over and over again, but we might wake up in 10 years and realize we haven't made any progress, and that would be a travesty.
Go ahead, it's your turn.
Okay, well, the 3 major things that I see as the top 3 issues facing Richfield currently, obviously, is our growth, our infrastructure and energy we just updated our general plan, subdivision ordinance, and our master transportation plan. And we really need to pay close attention to these three documents we have to stay on top of them. Also, you know, as far as growth goes, I've been involved in the purchase of a lot of water for the community for future growth. It's huge. We wouldn't be talking about that without water. Water's the lifeblood of everything we do here and in this whole area. And there are some communities that are short on water. And we need to protect that. That's been a big priority of mine. I see things happening in the state right now that I don't really like. Their attitude about water and how they view water is not how I view it. I think that we've prepared for that and we need to keep it. So that's something that I feel is good for our future. Energy, it's huge. Our grid down here we're running short. Salina's experienced that in their development out in their industrial park. You know, and Richfield's getting to its capacity. Michelle and I have met with Michelle Jolly, the city manager. We've met with Rocky Mountain Power to help find a location for a 138 kV substation. We've been looking at several options. It's something that I feel like it needs to be pushed, and I have pushed, and I'm going to continue to push that. Those things take a long time to be able to put in place, and we need to do it now, or we're going to be behind the 8 ball.
So for our next question, it's how do you plan to balance economic growth in our community and the need for affordable housing? Bryan, you go ahead.
Okay, well, I hope this is economic growth, not economic development, because they're two very different things, but very similar. So we'll go with the growth, right? That's very hard at a municipal government level. It has so many variables to it. A lot that we can't control. A lot of that comes from federal government, comes from state government. But we can do things at a city level as well. You know, one of them is to increase our labor force. People that are ready to go to work, have the credentials to go to work, the education. You know, by improving skills and knowledge, we can increase our workforce. And Snow College is playing a big role in that. We've had a new business that's just relocated here lately, and Snow College has partnered with that business to help do some of their machining and different things that way, which also creates an opportunity for our kids that maybe aren't going to work there, but they'll be able to get some of those skills. I went to the tech when I was a kid, and it was a great experience. This was Sevier Valley Tech years ago. It can also have bad effects. You know, we get a lot of congestion. We get, you know, our infrastructure starts to fail. If we don't grow in a manageable way and grow in a way that we can sustain it, then everything gets left behind. And a little bit of that has happened now with our older part of town and our water and sewer lines. Anyway, that's kind of my take on that. I guess I'm out of time, but yeah, it's a slippery slope and it's tricky. It's a hard one to try to handle, but we do look at it. I have looked at it. We continue to look at it.
Thanks, Bryan. Tyson?
Yeah, economic growth is coming, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. You're either growing or you're dying, but the trick is to control that growth and make sure it's responsible growth that fits our values, our cultures, and like I alluded to earlier, make sure that it makes Richfield a place where our kids can live and work. The affordable housing part of it, that's kind of an oxymoron these days. Housing's not that affordable. And Richfield's had its, I guess, founding fathers that have, you know, like, I'll just say, you know, like Kay McKiff, made a huge positive impact on Richfield City in making places for regular folks to buy a home and achieve that goal. But it's getting harder and harder these days, and the land that was easily subdividable and developable, that low-hanging fruit, I guess, it's kind of been harvested. And so to achieve the housing issues that we're going to face if our kids are going to live and work here and achieve home ownership, it's going to take some creative minds and some collaboration. Luckily we do have our 6th council right here in town in Sevier County, and those are affordable housing is also an issue for them. And if we put our minds together, collaborate, work together, I think we can solve it. But it might take doing something that we haven't done before. Like for example, a PID, Public Improvement District, and I don't have time with the limited time we have to get in the weeds on how that works. But I'm happy to have that conversation with you, today or later. But it is an issue that I look forward to work together, get creative, and solve.
Our third question? Our third question here is, we are blessed to live near numerous outdoor recreational opportunities. Is there a way the city can help sustain our public lands and access to them? Tyson, come here.
Yes, I agree. We live in a recreation mecca. We're surrounded by 360 degrees of just awesome landscape that offers so much to us and people visiting our area. And when it comes to preserving access and sustainability, I think it's really important for all the different user groups, such as ATV, UTV riders, hunters, cattlemen, and lately mountain bikers and hikers, for all those user groups to coexist and get along and overcome their differences by communication and dialogue. There is a force out there that would love nothing more than to come and shut it down. And we're seeing that in other parts of our state, like Moab. There's trails down in Moab where you could take a UTV Jeep, a little while ago, and you can't anymore. But if we're all united, all these user groups are united and getting along and coexisting, that lessens that larger power out there that would like to shut down the access. So that's what's most important when we're preserving access and sustainability.
Thank you, Tyson. Go ahead, Bryan.
Okay, I'm going to jump back on my second question for a little bit. Just by way of numbers, affordable housing. 2020, it was a bad time with COVID. It killed the economy, especially on building supplies. Just a few numbers, steel products went up 128%, concrete increased 463%, drywall went up 44.6%. They predict building materials will increase faster than U.S. inflation in 2025. I don't know how you combat that. I don't know what affordable housing is. That's a hard one, but that's what you're up against. Those are the kind of numbers that are out there that we're dealing with. And as far as the outdoor recreation go, yes, there's a way. And we have already been doing it. We've supported the ATV trails. We put in bike trails. We received several outdoor recreation grants from the state that built a pump track. It's built our bike trails and our adventure course at the Lions Park. With the bike trails, we partnered with the state, the federal government, the county, the city, and a big group of volunteers from our area. When you get that many people invested in something, it's going to be hard for that to go away. By putting these opportunities in place and continuing to support them and maintain them, and being good stewards, that will make access to public land sustainable in the future. I know these bike trails up here, I go up on that mountain a lot, and that road is cleaned up. People are taking the initiative to clean up their messes and other people's messes. That's how we're going to be able to sustain that.
If elected as Richfield City Mayor, how important is it to work with closely with Sevier County and other regional partners to address shared challenges and issues?
That's for me? All right. It's very important. It's very important to work together. That's what makes us a community. And I've done that over the past 4 years. I speak to our commissioners at least every 2 weeks, and probably more like weekly, on shared issues and concerns that we have. In fact, I have the endorsement of all 3 of our county commissioners for mayor. They all 3 have endorsed me. I work closely with Amy Meyer. She's the county tourism and events director. I have a great working relationship with her. We team up on all kinds of things with our resources, with our law enforcement, and our EMS and that type of stuff with them to make their events go. We also work closely with Snow College. We just, they just had the shared event like the Fall Festival. That's put on by some of Richfield City. We have people on the committee. That's been a wonderful thing. It keeps growing. And also the lantern glow that they do. I'm also on the Snow College Advisory Board. I know that they're invested in this community, and with that collaboration of all those agencies on things like that, to bring that expertise together, that's what makes us a great place. With our fair, our rodeos, everything we do, that's what makes Richfield a great place, and particularly our volunteers. Thank you.
Bryan. Tyson?
So, it's probably about 3 years ago, while I was finance director at Richfield City, we were invited, the city staff, the council, the mayor, they were invited to go up to Nephi to tour the hive. Myself and 2 councilmen took that opportunity to go up there, and all of you know what the hive is, right? I mean, it's that 80,000 square foot sports complex you see when you drive by Nephi. We went up and toured it, and it is a magnificent facility. And the way that came together was collaboration. Nephi City was going through some growing pains, and their recreation program had some needs. Juab School District was also experiencing the same growing pains, needed some more educational classroom space, and for their athletics program. And so they put their heads together and created this vision, and pooled their resources, pooled their vision to, it took some heavy lifting. I'm not saying it was easy, but man, what a great product they ended up with. And it was all because of collaboration, pooling our resources, pooling our vision. And that's what it takes in these rural communities is, us working with the county and the college and the school district and even the state. There are places where our goals overlap. And, if Nephi would have gone at that project alone, it would have never happened. If Juab School District would have gone at that project alone, would have never happened. But that is the result of working together and problem solving.
Tyson, what do you think Richfield City can do to assist new businesses as they get established in our community?
Yeah, small businesses are the backbone of every local economy. They're so important, not only new businesses, but the businesses that are here. And it's in Richfield City's best interest to do what they can to make them successful. And I believe it's the mayor's job to roll out that red carpet when new businesses are looking to expand or relocate here. Richfield has a lot to offer, and we need to be in those rooms selling ourselves when they're looking at us versus maybe a couple other communities. we're very lucky to have Snow College in solving small businesses' needs. You know, we're all really excited about industrial injection and their expansion in that big building across town. Some of you might not know that a lot of the new employees that are going to be employing are going to be educated and taught how to do their job at Snow College and in the technical education program. And I just think that's such a blessing. Something I've been working on lately personally is I've seen a shortage in skilled labor in our area. And you know, Stacy and her leadership team, they're so gracious to meet with us and try to problem solve, and we have got the ball rolling. It's not going to happen overnight. I want to manage expectations, but we have got the ball rolling on, we've got local contractors stepped up, willing to teach and host apprenticeships. And so we'll have apprenticeship programs through Snow College Technical Education for building trades and electricians. And those students are going to be able to go to work in our area and stay here and raise their family.
All right. We're already doing a lot of different things in the city currently to help with that, to assist new business. We put in place a community reinvestment agency. That zone goes from the hospital to north of the freeway. And the CRA comes with some strings. The county and the school have to agree to them. You know, to agree to the businesses and to agree to the percentages by waiving some property tax. And the project has to bring in good jobs, and new families, etc. So it's not just establishing a community impact zone and that just being the way it is. There are some strings attached to that. The best one that we have done in the last while is we've established it in the port, and that allows us to give incentives without the school district and the county having say in that and giving us their blessings. So, you know, an example is the industrial diesel. They came in, that's the newest one. And we through the city, we froze the property tax on that building out there. We also gave them a 20% break for 6 years and a 15% break for 15 years on any new equipment, any new improvements, any new structures, anything they do out there. And that money gets put back into the development of their business. It's been a great thing. And if they would have built that, it would have included, within the portal, would have included the new building. So that's something that we can do to give them some financial help that way. We also have a gap policy. If people are putting a business in and are able to, we can help them get from one point where we're at to the other. And we also allow them to have some buyback agreements on some of the infrastructure that they do.